Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Tori. If you're new here, I talk about all things fitness, wellness, and just being the best version of you can be. And if you're interested in being the best version of you can be, give me a follow. So I've been thinking about this a lot and I really wanted to talk about being a bikini competitor as a believer. A little bit about me. I am a fitness coach. I love helping women build confidence and just make them the best versions of themselves they can be. I am also a past bikini competitor. I've competed in 5 shows, 3 being bikini division and 2 being fit model division, which is a newer division that was introduced in 2025. So I did 5 shows and all of those were in a span of about under 5 years. And during that span of my life, I found myself getting closer to God. I found myself just being really rooted in my faith. Luckily for me, when this thought came into my head, I never felt like God said no. I grew up in the church, right? I grew up going to church with my parents and going every Sunday and just implementing that routine. But obviously, as you grow up, you go to college, that kind of falls off. I'm not speaking for everyone, but for me personally, I was really focused in school. I was focused on other things that shouldn't have been a priority, but they were a priority at that time in my life. I was in a sorority, partying happened, and that's normal, right? All that to say for a college student. But coming into my second year of college, I started implementing the gym. I left the sorority, and at that point in my life, I felt like God was really calling me out. I felt like God was like, hey girl, like we're doing something different. So I felt like he was isolating me. I began, going more into my faith, but it wasn't fully 100% until after I graduated. So going back into my fitness journey started at that point in my life, that second year of college. Nothing set in stone. I wasn't going crazy if I missed a day or two at the gym. Some days I would go 1 day a week. Some days I would go multiple times a week. Again, nothing serious. Then after I graduated college, it got serious. So I started going to the gym more often. I started seeing people like Laura Lee Chapados, and like she was my main one that I saw competing, and as well as Chris Bumstead. So C-Bum, he was one of the people I started watching on YouTube, and I got introduced to that life, that competition life, competing, and what that was. So a lot of my main gym inspiration came from C-Bum and like Laura Lee. Those were my top 2. And then I started looking on Instagram. I found Whitney Simmons, OG throwback when she first started. So those were like my first people. Then KK Fit and all those people I started watching. And the fitness journey was there. It just wasn't where it needed to be. There was no set routine. There was no set program. There was nothing going on. I would just go to the gym like 5 times a week. That was my outlet. And at this point, my faith was okay. Again, it wasn't 100%. The big transition in my faith happened in 2022, okay? This moment was pivotal. I went to go pick up a friend from Texas to drive back with her. She's an RN. She was doing travel nursing and she was in Texas. So I went on a trip over there, and that is when God really stepped into my life. He honed in. That trip changed my life. It changed my world. And at that point, I was still in fitness. We went to Alpha Land because I was over there, again, really into fitness, and then really gearing into my faith at that point. Fast forward a little bit, going to the end of 2022, 2023. During that point, God had orchestrated something amazing. I met my coach. You guys, like not on purpose. One of my other friends was competing. I went with her to a bikini fitting, and my coach at the time was asking me if I was ever interested in competing, and I was. I just had never found a coach, and then realizing then and there that that was my coach. Fast forward, I decided I wanted to compete, and at this point I was thinking about it. I just obviously seeing that background and wanting to invest more into my fitness. At that point, I had a set routine. I was kind of tracking macros, obviously getting my macros from I don't know where, something that probably wasn't right, but I was just doing my best, right? Doing my little research, doing things that I can do to be the best version of myself in the fitness realm. At this point, I felt like I never felt conflicted about it. I never felt like God didn't want me to do it. I felt like everything was orchestrated in a way where it fit into my life, where it was supported by God. I never had a bad thought about it. But then I had someone ask me like, hey, like, is that right? Like, should you even be doing that? Like, you're exposing your body, like, what's going on there? And I fully felt okay with it, because in my head at this point, I felt like, one, God put it on my heart, and looking at my heart posture. What was my heart posture at that point in my life? And for me, that was pushing my discipline. And discipline is something, you know, that really has to be strong when you're competing. It's so easy to cheat. Like, it's so easy to just not follow your program, but you have to be strict. You have to hit your cardio goals. You have to rest. You have to eat a certain amount of macros, and it just takes a lot of you. And my first prep was 2022, 2023. At the end of that year, I really felt myself get closer to God during that prep time. I think you hit a low, and probably my competitors can speak to this. You hit such a low that you need something to depend on. And for me, it was God. And for me, God got me through those low points. Because, girl, my first competition, life was lifing. It was rough, and nobody knew about it but me. And the only way I got through was with God and my faith. So never at a point did I feel like it was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I was going to step on stage in a bikini, but that didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was that I did it, that I stuck to everything I said I was going to do, that I hit every macro, that I hit every like cardio session, that I hit every gym session. So my heart posture was never like, oh, I want to look this way, or I'm looking this way for views, or I'm looking this way for, I don't know. It just never crossed my mind at all. Again, I don't think it's a super black and white issue. I just think it's a person to person thing. Like, how are you feeling? Did you pray about it? You know, it's just one of those things that I can't say are like, yeah, it's wrong, yeah, it's right, because again, it's person to person. What do you see out of it? What's your heart posture? Why are you doing this, right? And how did it come about? And for me, it was always about pushing my discipline and just, you know, growing in my faith. Again, that helped me get so close to God. And every time I felt like He came through. So that was a big factor for me. I can see both sides, though. A lot of the time, some believers can say, what about the modesty thing? Like, that's an issue, especially if some people that are looking externally are thinking that the person's doing it for validation. They're doing it for attention, which I know in my heart that I wasn't doing it for. Obviously, some loved ones said some stuff like, you should not be doing that as a believer. Like, stepping on stage like that, no. And in my heart, I was like, well, I'm not doing it for the attention. Like, I worked really hard. This is about the discipline. To me, in my head, everybody was looking at the muscles that I built. So I never saw it in a wrong way. Again, I'm not speaking for everyone, because I can't speak for everyone. That's just, I'm talking for me, Tori. It just was me. The judges are looking at the muscle I built and how I'm looking and the shape. The other thing is the influence on others. Like, am I causing people to stumble in their faith because I'm looking this way? But again, for me, I view that as a personal thing, like, and their heart posture, right? So it all comes back to you. So again, it's not black and white. It's just something that you really have to pray about. And if in your heart you feel like, obviously, if in your faith and you believe in God and this is an important thing for you, if you pray about it and you're like, oh no, like He's saying, no, don't do it, honey, don't do it. Like, it's just, oh, how you're feeling and your heart posture. For me, viewing this as being okay, because I saw it as a discipline thing, as a stewardship thing. Like, you have to be strong and disciplined. You have to say no. You have to have self-control. And the Bible also says to take care of your body with intention. And this is exactly what competing in a prep does. Again, I view this as a sport. I saw it from Sebum. That was the first person I saw it from. And obviously, he's a man. I'm a woman. I never saw it as like, you know, like a vanity thing. I saw it more of like, this is a sport that's crazy. It takes a lot of mental grit. It takes a lot of discipline. And that's what attracted me to the sport. So judging criteria is structured. That just made me more comfortable to it being a sport. Again, not everyone's conviction is the same. What feels wrong to somebody might not feel wrong to the other person. Where I'm at right now, I personally saw myself, after obviously competing for so long. My last competition was in 2025. I was supposed to do a show that I ended up pulling out of because I realized that the control that I had towards, you know, my food and towards structuring my life and I knew I had control over that was taking control of me. Does that make sense? So I think it was just coming from a place where the sport was being idolized, and I needed to take a step back because it's so easy to get lost in that discipline, in that grit, and being alone. And for me, I wasn't alone because I had God with me. But looking at the external factors, I wasn't going out with my family. I didn't have good friendships. I didn't have a personal relationship. To build personal relationships, you need to invest time. And with prep and everything going on, all I did was go to the gym, meal prep, sleep, go to church, and work. Like, there was no personal life. And I felt like God was like, okay, you need to be called out. A few of my good friends called me out, and I'm so grateful for that. They said, girl, you need to take a step back. This is being idolized. This is too much. Like, so I took a step back, and I felt like God sent me those people for a reason. So I will say where I'm at right now is I'm in a place where I want to find equilibrium. I want to find a good balance with life and the gym again. And I feel like in the past few months coming into 2026 and the end of 2025, I've been able to slowly do that. It's been hard because obviously being a past competitor, you see yourself at your leanest, you're most shredded, and you want to look like that 24/7. Like, personally, me, I love being lean, I love being tiny, but that's not realistic. That's not healthy. So obviously praying and just still being rooted in faith and knowing that I went through that for a reason is important. I still view it the same. I don't think that being a believer and being a bikini competitor cannot work. I don't think, for me, there's no conflict. And again, I can't speak for everyone. It's all personal. It's all heart posture based. But I did feel like it was consuming my life. And I did feel like God put me through that season to teach me discipline, to make me the person I am, because it just helped build everything in my life and make me the person I am today. And if you're in a season of your life right now where you're questioning whether you should compete, ask yourself these 3 questions. Why am I doing it? Where am I getting my validation from? And does it align with my values? Again, I don't have all the answers. This is not a black and white topic. It's all personal, and make sure you're praying about it to get your answers. That's the best way to do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and a subscribe. I hope to see you guys in the next video.